Rogue tier, we still winning. Magic card, oh, we extending. Dark Law, he still contending. Sunrise, your lights in it. Yugi peoples, welcome to the commentary. This is my round one match using my Pure Elemental Hero XYZ fusion deck. I'm playing against Lunalight, tier elements, being piloted by Christian Greyhouse. Good player, great guy, he's cool. And as y'all can see, we playing E-Call off inside of here because there's no Vision heroes, no Destiny heroes or anything like that. It's just all elemental heroes. We gonna search out the Spirit of Neos, which was really good in this deck. Go ahead and activate a Hero Lives, and we're gonna special summon out the Shadow Mist to be able to grab the mass change. He's gonna chain his tier element monster to go ahead and get stuff popping for him. And I think it's crazy that their stuff activates when they get destroyed and inside of their hand like that. It's pretty crazy. So now he's gonna activate the effects of the tier elements that he milled to be able to go ahead and fusion summon, and I'm gonna make a play mistake right here just because I'm one of those players that doesn't really read Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I probably should at this point know what the tier element fusion monsters do, and thinking that I could go ahead and get some good stuff off using Dark Law, because this dude is gonna special summon to the board and then try to send one to the graveyard. And I think right there we ended up having to call the judge to see if his effective special summon would still happen. So we're gonna redo the game state, and the judge in question is Die, pay to win. And so he goes ahead and rules that the effect would still special summon him to the board, and the card that he sends to the graveyard would get banished because Dark Law is on the board. So he's gonna go ahead and fusion summon there with the other tier card, and this was why I said I made a play mistake. Even though I stopped him from sending that to the graveyard, it ends up getting bounced back to the extra deck because he brings out the tier fusion monster card. So now I don't have Dark Law on the board anymore. So yeah, that was a play mistake right there, even though you could kind of say it wasn't, since it did prevent him from sending a different one to the graveyard and activating this effect. But it's all good. So we're going to normal summon out the Solid Soldier to special summon out the Stratos. Use Stratos' effect to go search the Liquid Soldier, which is typically my follow-up play. And now, it kind of sucks that he has the big fusion monster out on the board. Oh, that's him asking if I got Shadow Mist second effect. But, I told him hero cards, are pretty old. So we're not advanced enough to get both effects like his tier monsters, So now I'm trying to decide if I should bring out Abyss Dweller or Babuska. Abyss Dweller is typically a whole lot better. But now he already has the big fusion monster out there, so it would just be like a one turn stop him play, which might have been better, kind of, but hindsight is 2020, as they say. So I'll go ahead and bring out Babuska, and he drew the terraforming, and he either had the terraforming or he drew it, and he's gonna have the field spell now, which will enable him to eventually be able to do plays when they fusion summon, and it just ended up being a really big play mistake because now I don't have Babuska and Dark Law out on the board, because since Babuska only negates activated effects, Dark Law's continuous effect to banish all his cards would still be active, and it probably would have put a stop to some of this stuff that's about to happen right here. So yeah, that when you're playing a rogue deck, all it takes is one mistake to completely lose a game. And so, like I said, as you can see, he's playing the Lunalight stuff here. So here goes the Tinky for the Tiger, and he's about to start making some, Lunalight plays. There goes the Spell Counselor. He's actually maining Red Reboot, which is actually a pretty good, call for our local that we have here, because there are quite a few people that like to play Eldritch. As a matter of fact, in this tournament, I ended up losing in top 8 to Eldritch, so I wish maybe that I was main decking Red Reboot. Nah. But so he's gonna start doing more Lunalight stuff, and even the Lunalight cards aren't once per turn. They're pretty broken. So, no matter how many of them he mills or hits and stuff or whatever, he's still activating their effects. And, last tournament, I didn't have my big eye. I borrowed one from somebody, and then, Campos was nice enough to sell one to us. So now I was swapping that out, getting that misprint big eye back to Steven Tyler. Shout out to him for letting me use his misprint big eye that was very, very precious to him. So now continuing on, here comes the Lunalight plays. Like, I was just interested in like what he was gonna do in order to out the Babushka. And he starts making link plays, and of course those don't get switched to defense positions. So they'll get their effects, and he's gonna start linking off. And he's gonna use my Shadow Mist with the dark, and he brings out some monster that I hadn't seen before that has pretty crazy effects. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my Shadow Mist effect because it was sent to the graveyard when he did the link summon. And I think one of the things is, like I said, Christian Greyhouse, he's a good player. He knows what he's doing. He's been mindful of the cards that I have inside of my hand. And, Spirit of Neos was like a saving grace throughout this tournament. Like, that card is just like so good when they don't put up a negate on the board. And, he's going to make sure that he puts up a negate to keep the Spirit of Neos from dropping down during the battle phase. And now he's activating, tier effects and just doing, crazy Lunalight tier element plays. And, this deck is actually like pretty cool, pretty crazy. I hadn't seen the tiers mixed with the Lunalight stuff, so I don't know if this is something that's going to become popular or not. But, there goes my Babushka, ends up getting popped. I think it was because of the field spell when he shuffles like an aqua monster off in there or something like that. It does something crazy, but there goes the linking off into the Appaloosa, which is going to stop my Spirit of Neos play. And I activated the Hero Live, so I only have like 4k life points. So yeah, this is like, even with just what he has on the board right now, it's pretty much, enough to kill me since I can't bring out the Neos. But he continues doing, I think he forgot, because since I was using my phone to record, he wasn't keeping track of life points either. So he's still like doing plays to finish me off. And he goes and brings out Dugaris, the monster, and makes it, I think, to where his attack is doubled, I think, and it attacks with it, or makes it to where it can attack twice. And I try to activate the Spirit of Neos, and he Appaloosas, and that will be the end of that game one right there. Man, that took a minute, didn't it? And after some side decking and some shuffling and some cutting, we're gonna go ahead and get into game two. Like, I don't think the camera usually has this glare on there, so I'm not sure. Like, I positioned it completely wrong. Somebody had moved the table, so I'm sorry that y'all can't see the card that I've been special summoning off of a Hero Lives. So that is Stratos that I special summon off of a Hero Lives, which, usually when it has that, it's probably that I either already have Shadow Mist with Liquid Soldier in hand, or I already have Mass Change. So he's going to go ahead and activate the tier effect to mill, and he doesn't end up hitting anything. I'm going to use Stratos effect to go ahead and search out the Shadow Mist, which means I do have that Solid Soldier in hand. We're going to go ahead and normal summon the Solid Soldier, use his effect to special summon Shadow Mist, use Shadow Mist effect to go ahead and add the Mass Change. And, now we got decisions to make. I like to go ahead and, have both Abyss Dweller and Dark Law against this deck. Like, I mean, there's no point in really not having it, since, they're both like really, really effective against this deck. And the advantage being that with Abyss Dweller, I can activate it during the standby phase so that, it doesn't get stolen by triple tactics talents. So go ahead and set 3, bring out the Abyss Dweller, and, in standby phase, we're going to go ahead and detach the Stratos to activate Abyss Dweller's effect. And, this is going to put him in a really bad position. He knows that I have the Mass Change set, and, we're in pretty good position. He's going to set 2 and pass. I'm gonna go ahead and mass change. That way I can get my Shadow Mist effect to search. Since his effects are only once per turn, you want to go ahead and get that effect once per turn when you can. I'm gonna use the Shadow Mist effect in order to go search out my Liquid Soldier. Like I said, he is my follow-up play because he'll special summon, whatever I need from the graveyard. And him having 2 back row, is, as I detached the Stratos off in there. So we're going to activate Liquid Soldier's effect to go ahead and special summon. We're going to target the Stratos that is inside our graveyard. He's going to imperm, actually targeting the masked hero Darklaw instead of the Liquid Soldier. So we're going to get Liquid Soldier's effect to special summon out Stratos. We're going to use Stratos to destroy back row cards, and he's going to go ahead and chain the Tier Element Trap card that can do some bouncing around of things. He's going to target the Abyss Dweller, and I'm gonna go ahead and chain his effect to keep him from doing, any crazy shenanigans or anything like that. But I thought that it bounced it, but it actually just negates its effect. It's like an imperm. So, I'm not sure what his play line was there, but we're gonna go ahead and do some calculating to see if I can kill him. And we're going to enter the battle phase. We're adding things up here, and I don't think there was any reason for me to be doing it like this, because I'm pretty sure like one of my face down cards was mass change. I just wanted to make sure that he was dying. So yeah, we got the mass change right there, and that will be a quick swift end to game 2. Okay, so going into game 3 here, we got the Lunalight Tears deck going first. He's gonna start off with the field spell to go search out, whatever tier card that he needs. He's gonna special summon I believe the Reinhardt. I'm not sure what their names and stuff are, but I think he's the one who sends any of them that he wants to the graveyard. I'm gonna go ahead and imperm that, maybe to prevent him from, getting exactly what he wants. But I think I was supposed to save the imperm for the actual fusion monster though, so that might have been a big play mistake right there. I'll look more into that, because I just haven't really been paying too much attention to all this stuff. I just know that this deck is really broken, and there's not too much you can really do to put a stop to it once it like really starts going. His hand was pretty unfortunate. He goes ahead and has to super poly his 2 monsters together and discard a second super poly in order to be able to continue to make plays. And asking, what effects and stuff, what are they doing, what's going on. I don't think that I have actual hand trap in hand, but I'm trying to make it seem like I do. Maybe it'll change his line of plays and he'll do something less reckless, kind of, if that makes sense. But he's going to go ahead and use their effect to special summon out the Mud Dragon and go search for a different tier card. And then on resolution, after that's gone, he's going to go ahead and activate the Mud Dragon's effect, making it dark. That way I can't target none of his, dark monsters with imperm or fake Veiler, that I could have been bluffing inside of my hand. And he's going to go ahead and activate the effect of the fusion one, and he's going to get the mill 8 cards here, and he ends up hitting nothing off of his mill 8. It's kind of crazy. That was really, really bad for him. I don't know if it was like, the added Lunalight cards off in there that really prevented him from popping off and hitting what he needed to hit, or sometimes you just mill unfortunate. So he's going to use the Mud Dragon and the Tears card, to go ahead and make the Sprite Elf right there. And I'm going to go ahead and proceed into main phase, activate emergency call. He's going to Sprite Elf, and I did actually have a hand trap in hand. It was DD Crow. So I'm a DD Crow, the tier card that he targets with the Sprite Elf. And with no cards in his hand, this is pretty much just going to be the end of it. We're going to Solid Soldier into Shadow Mist to go search mass change. And I'm going to make a play here that, was actually pretty surprising to the people that are watching here, because instead of, you know, making Dark Law like most people assume that I would, I go ahead and go for a different line of play to end the game like a little bit faster, and it still has, you know, pretty much like the same effect. I'm gonna go ahead and mass change my Solid Soldier here in the battle phase to go ahead and bring out Dian. I'm gonna battle phase attack over the Sprite Elf with Dian, activate Dian's effect to go ahead and special summon Stratos, activate Stratos effect to go ahead and search out my Spirit of Neos. You know, like I said, that card, it was like so good to me. I didn't get to use it during this match, but like almost every other match, I pretty much used that card. Like, you know, he was a lifesaver because a lot of decks don't put out, you know, like monster negates like that and stuff. So go ahead and attack with Stratos, attack with Stratos and Shadow Mist. Then I'm going to use them to go ahead and make the Abyss Dweller in a standby phase, activate Abyss Dweller, get Shadow Mist effect, go ahead and add the Solid Soldier to my hand because I believe I already have Liquid Soldier. So, you know, we're set up. We got the plays for next turn. We got a hand trap to keep us from dying, hopefully, and we've negated his graveyard effects, and I had the droplet set down also. So yeah, we were pretty set right there, you know. And you know, Dian makes an appearance. Let's go. So appreciate everybody for watching. I got some more duels from this tournament coming up, and I'll catch y'all on the next video. Stay away.